Well, this is it. This is a big event. Happy Bestowal. Welcome to the Church of KORIHOR. It rolls. In the rock and roll side of Godless churches, we mostly roll. As people arrive for the event, we'll start planning how we're going to do emergencies in case we get approached on the street. So yeah, we're the Church of KORIHOR. We're a church for godless people. It appears I'm trying to do multiple things simultaneously, and that is not my forte. But we do hard things. I wanted to share with you all this idea that I've had for a while called the Bestowal. And in a moment, we're going to even experiment with Bestowal for the very first time, and I'm going to share with you something that's kind of been on my heart for a while. I had practiced this and thought about this. I've actually started talking about this with some people in the Church of KORIHOR back when we started 1 year ago. In fact, it was about 1 year ago. I think it's either today or tomorrow that we did the first broadcast of the Church of KORIHOR. I'm going to have to go and look at it. But in any event, this is December 23rd, and it's Joseph Smith Jr.'s birthday. So how fitting, I decided that we would finally do this thing, and we would practice Bestowal. So now this is KORIHOR'S Bestowal. If you don't know, KORIHOR is a fictional character from the Book of Mormon, and the namesake, and we are the namesake of him, and he is the namesake of us. If the broadcast is choppy or the audio is bad, somebody please weigh in the comments so that I know. Because I really don't have any way to tell right now. We're a production team / talent of one over here on this side of the Church of KORIHOR. But hopefully people, as you come in, you'll let me know in the comments if we're doing all right. So multiple things. My ADHD brain is, well, it's yeah, it's fine. It's fine. We're gonna do overview here in a minute just so that I can be prepared for this. KORIHOR is an atheist from the Book of Mormon, and he was martyred for speaking about truth and reason. And that was always a depressing story when I was growing up as a Mormon. But when I became a missionary, I actually started to really take a lot of hope and courage out of this idea that even in the Book of Mormon, there's even an Abinadi moment. If you've never been Mormon, that moment might not be familiar to you. That's definitely not familiar to you. There is a moment to stand up and speak the truth, even for the atheists. And that was good for me while I was a missionary, because while I was a missionary, I was depressed all the time. And I didn't really have anyone to talk to. My companions, were frankly half the time they're as depressed as I was. It was a very hard time. And one of the things that I have thought about since we started the Church of KORIHOR 1 year ago is something that I miss. I'm just going to kind of open my heart. This is going to be kind of vulnerable for me, but sometimes we do that. When I was a Mormon, because I was born with a penis, I held the priesthood, among other things. And when you hold the priesthood, hey, Lisa, how's it going? When you hold the priesthood in the Mormon church, because you have a penis, and so you can hold the priesthood, among other things, you get to give people priesthood blessings. And priesthood blessings are kind of a strange thing for Exmos to recall afterwards. Because, of course, you discover when you leave the Mormon church, there really was nothing special about priesthood blessings in terms of magical powers. We were convinced at the time that we had the power to heal people, or that we to speak for God and to use that power that Jesus would use to heal people. Please let me know, guys, if the broadcast is choppy or if the sound is bad. We're going to start here with our new one of our new solstice hymns. We now have 2 solstice hymns. I thought it appropriate that we play one of them that is actually the first hymn of the Church of KORIHOR, because we did start around Christmas time last year, and back then we just used to say reasons, greetings, but now we say happy bestowal, because I miss blessings, believe it or not. And that's mainly because blessings, for me, when I would give a priesthood blessing, it was an opportunity for me to impart words of wisdom and hope to another person. I was never the type that gave a blessing to somebody and promised them that they would recover, that they would make a miraculous recovery. I never, things like that. I mean, maybe once in a while in my book, The KORIHOR Argument, I actually tell an interesting, maybe even humorous story about how I performed an exorcism because somebody asked me to cast a devil out of him. And we needed the baptism, so I did it. And I thought, you know what? Jesus did this. The apostles did this. Why not? And I did. And I did it for him. But the thing that's interesting for me, as I recall giving priesthood blessings, is just that I learned along the way that if I explained to a person that there was a reason to hope and gave them words of wisdom, for some people it made all the difference. It gave them something to push for. It gave them a reason to feel good about being alive. And right now, I don't know about you guys, but I could really use that. Over the course of the past couple of weeks, I have had some of the darkest and yet some of the brightest moments of my life. And all of the brightest moments of my life, really of the last year especially, have revolved around the Church of KORIHOR. And I've come to realize how, though I don't really believe in happiness, the closest thing I know to happiness has been the feeling of community and hope that I get from the Church of KORIHOR. And I wanted to pour that into a new sacrament. We've been big on this first year talking about sacraments. A sacrament or a ritual, a godless ritual for divorce, a godless ritual for weddings and marriages. And we haven't done a lot. We have one really official one, which is the Oath of Reason, which is the ceremony to join the Church of KORIHOR. And we have some customs we've developed. But of all the customs that I really would love to bring, that I would really love to bring into the future, is this idea of something that words of wisdom that we can bring into other people's lives, and not just us who are ordained clergy of the Church of KORIHOR, the small but wonderful throng that we are. But that we should open it up to everybody. That it should become our new custom. That it should become our new custom from now on to invite atheists and agnostics, especially, and people who are non-religious, to participate in giving bestowal. And from December 23rd until the end of the year, this is going to become our solstice holiday. Hello. And so this is what we'll do. Every day, I invite each of you to give a bestowal. I'm going to show you how to do that here in a second. I was going to try and get to a better place physically to do this, but life happens to us sometimes, and so I'm going to try and get set up here in a second so that I can perform and show you how a bestowal is done. And it's just a way for us to every day, you can broadcast it, you can record it and send it to somebody, but you can also just go up and give it to somebody directly and in person and let it be a little bit awkward. I think it'd be wonderful. But you don't just random strangers send a bestowal, but you can ask somebody. We have this thing we do during this season as godless people. It's called a bestowal, and it's a piece of wisdom and hope for you to connect to, and especially during bestowal, to connect every day, to connect to something hopeful for the new year. And out of that, I came up with a new hymn for the Church of KORIHOR. We're going to go ahead and lead off with that one, and hopefully it works. But this is a new hymn. It's called I Bestow Upon You. And when you see me perform the bestowal and demonstrate how to do a bestowal, perhaps it'll be clear why those words are the actual title of this beautiful hymn. I don't know. Sometimes I get so deep into making the hymns, I don't know if anybody else feels the way I do about them. And sometimes I just have to be vulnerable and say, I'm just hoping that you guys are getting as much of a kick out of this as I am. Yeah, as much of a kick out of listening to them, enjoying them as I am getting out of making them. While that's playing, I'm going to try and take my phone and set it up so that I can go outside, because I kind of had to be standing to do a bestowal. And tomorrow I'll do some that are a little higher production value. I'm just kind of excited to do it tonight because it's Joseph's birthday, and screw him. And hey, what a great time for me to be sharing this hope, because I'll say this before we get going. I'm just going to play this hymn here in a second. I didn't know that December 23rd, 2025 was going to be the day that this terrible news, I'm going to say these words, it is terrible news. And I'm going to tell you that with words because my face is going to be smiling probably through the whole thing. The terrible news that the Epstein files dropped today that exposed what some of what people expected to be exposed. And I was already blissful in this idea of this bestowal I wanted to share with you, the first ever bestowal. And then all of a sudden, this thing happened. And for me, it was cathartic. It was euphoric. I went, holy shit. I feel so vindicated right now. And it's perhaps terrible, but it's also perhaps, but I think it's wonderful. I think we're about to head into a year, 2026, that I had been dreading. I don't know about any of you, but 2025 is far and away, has been far and away the hardest year of my life. And that's really disturbing because I had said that about 2024. It's been a while that a lot of people here in this world, and I've been very concerned about others, as well as, of course, this isn't just me complaining for myself. I see every day people crashing out, as the young say, about how difficult things are and how badly people need some hope right now. And how wonderful it would be if, for a change, atheists and agnostics and godless people were a source of hope for people and gave people a reason to feel like, you know what, this is probably, this is hard, but things can start to look up and things can be worth living. Life can be worth living and things can be good. And that it's because of us. It's not because of fortunes. It's not just because of luck, though that certainly will have something to do with it. It's not just privilege, though that will have something to do with it. It's us. And we have to choose it. We have to choose to do it together, or it won't work. With that, hopefully, I'm about to play for you the second solstice song of the Church of KORIHOR, I Bestow Upon You. And then we're going to try this thing. And if it doesn't work, well, then screw it, we'll do it again tomorrow and we'll try again. This, I don't know how many of you realize this, but I live in this van now. So sometimes it's doing the living and the working all at the same time has become something of a challenge. So I bestow upon you. You guys hear me okay? Hopefully this works. We're going to try it. If I screw it up, oh well. Hopefully there's sound. Looks like there's sound. Looks like there's look. Let's try it. This is not the setting I had before, but life. I won't complain to you because this isn't the time for that. I found a street lamp so we can do this. We have light enough to do this. Everybody see me okay? Anybody want to throw me in the comments there? You can hear and see okay? Okay. So bestowal is performed this way. You have to Bill and Ted. You take one hand, you place it over your heart. Doesn't matter which one. You take your other hand and you extend it towards somebody. And then you call them by name. It could be an individual person's name. It could be a group's name. What matters is the sincerity and that it's consensual. That, a group of people, they're just going to have to consent, but, to give it up. But so that people know this is a piece of wisdom I hope that you can connect to in the next year. And this is what I hope brings you some hope. And I'm going to do one every day. I'm going to. And I invite you to do the same. especially our fellow atheists and agnostics. We get a bad reputation for being mean, nasty, or just generally not friendly, or being always depressed. And we're good people, but many of us. Some of us are assholes. I'm an asshole sometimes, but generally speaking, we're good people. This is that made things worse. I made things worse. So this is it. Happy Bestowal, everyone. I've been thinking about this. I'm going to overview for a minute here. This is what we call our meditation practice. This is the bestowal. My brothers and sisters in reason in America, by the light of reason, I bestow upon you the courage and patience to get justice in this new year. Justice for America's workers that have struggled, many of them to find a job, many of them to make ends meet with jobs that don't pay enough. I bestow upon you patience. I bestow upon you courage. And let us get justice for you. Let us have this hope that there will be justice in 2026. You will need patience. You will need persistence. I bestow upon you the hope that we can have a better world this year, and it's already beginning. Consider now what's being exposed in the world, what's being exposed about what's wrong with a system dominated by Christian nationalism, and consider that in the daylight, we can sanitize it. We can sanitize this country, and all of us pull together to make a better future for ourselves, for our families, and our loved ones. And if you'll join with me, I'll join with you, and we'll make it happen. I bestow upon you patience, but courage and persistence, because it will take all of us working hard to make it happen. And if we lose hope, it won't happen. So have courage, have persistence to get justice in 2026. Most importantly, perhaps, let there be justice for Virginia Giuffre and all of the other victims of Jeffrey Epstein and associates. May they have justice, especially those whose voices cannot be heard anymore. Let us be their voice. Let us be the voice that doesn't let up, that doesn't die away. Let us be their voice. Like being the voice for KORIHOR, we must be the voice of Virginia Giuffre. We must be the voice of these women who are victimized. Not just them, not just the victims of one man and associates, but the victims of men all over this country and frankly all over the world. We must speak for the ones who cannot speak. We must have the courage for those who cannot be here to stand up for themselves. We will stand up for them. I believe in us. I believe in 2026 we can make it happen and we can hold them to account. It won't be easy. That is why we will have patience. It will be hard. That's why we will have persistence. And I believe in you. I believe in us. I believe that this can happen. I believe we can have justice in America. If we can't, then there's no reason for America. And I just can't accept that. I can't accept it. We must have justice for our BIPOC brothers and sisters. We must have justice for the indigenous peoples whose land was stolen to make this nation. We must have justice. And in 2026, I believe in you and me. I believe that we will do it. I believe we can do this. And it's already beginning. So when you start to feel hopeless, please remember that this night, with no magic power, with no gods above, with no angels, with no devils, with no prophets or prophetesses or priests, just hearts to hearts, human beings, that I said to you, I bestow upon you patience. Believe in it, and it will work for you, because that's how patience works. Believe in hope, and you will have hope. We must every moment choose it. I want you to remember that when it is dark and when it is difficult and when you are struggling, that I hoped for you now, in this moment, now in the past, and somewhere in the world, I'm there, hoping for you still. And take some hope. I hope you will. Let us have justice, that the light of reason prevail. Amen. We'll do one more solstice hymn. This is the first hymn of the Church of KORIHOR. It is called An Apple Pie from Scratch. Some of you know our Sagan heads like me will remember Carl Sagan on his program Cosmos. One time he had said one of the most beautiful lines. He said, "If you wish to make an apple pie from scratch, you must first invent the universe." Carl believed in brilliance. Particularly, he believed in the brilliance of Sir Isaac Newton and loved the brilliance of Sir Isaac Newton, who was born on the 25th of December. And so the first solstice hymn, An Apple Pie from Scratch. We got to get back over to the car to do it. Oh, no. Did I lose you guys? You guys still see me out there? I'm going to try and play this solstice hymn. It might not work. But that's the kind of podunk fly-by-night operation we're running here. We want to have it any other way. Frankly, it's kind of exciting. The world is our church. What is it that Thomas Paine said? I think I found it here. That the world is my country and my religion to do good. An apple pie from scratch. Let's try.
On a cold December morn, a son of these stars was born. That long winter solstice night gave us a child of wonder bright. An apple pie from scratch, this childhood's gift unmatched. Principles that light our hearts, this child of wonder was our start. In his apple's fall we rose to Mars. With his rainbow we found the stars. With a curiosity so pure, a child's light in us endures. An apple pie from scratch, this childhood's gift unmatched. Principles that light our hearts, this child of wonder was our start. If you wish to make Newton's apple pie, let Carl point you to the sky. It began on Christmas Day. A child was born to light our way. By his mind we made Apollo rise. Upon his light we sail the skies. On this pale blue dot in a sunbeam was born a boy who made us dream. An apple pie from scratch, this child's gift unmatched. Principles that light our hearts, this child of wonder was our star. So let us sing this solstice night to honor Carl and Isaac's light. In our stars, as yet unwritten, a child of wonder to us was given.